So for number 6, it says use a table of values to estimate the value of each of the following limits to 4 decimal places. So for the first one, it says find the limit as x approaches 0 of 3 to the x power minus 1 over x. So I think the easiest way to do this is to make the table of values in your calculator. You could do it by hand, but I just think if you have a graphing calculator, it's a little easier. So the first thing we want to do is input our function. And I like to put my numerator and denominator in parentheses because the calculator is a little weird about fractions. So 3 to the power of x minus minus 1, and then divided by x. So we graph that. Doesn't give us much information because it's not that detailed, but we're trying to see what's happening as x gets closer and closer to 0. So to make a table of values very close to 0, what we do is we're going to set the table. You can hit second, and then this table set is the second function of window, and that will take you to this table setup. So we're trying to figure out what's happening at 0, so we're going to start our table at 0. So let's put a 0 in for table start. And then this triangle table just means delta table, or the change in the table values as you move up and down the table. I like to do something very small like 0.0001 because that's very close to 0, and we're analyzing limits. We're trying to see what's happening very close to that limiting value. So once we put these values in, to see the actual table, table is the second function of graph. So we hit second and then graph, and you can go up because we're trying to see what's happening to the left and to the right. So now 0 is our starting point, and we're going up in increments of 0.0001. So we can see that we are getting closer and closer to the same value on each side. And it says rounded to 4 decimal places. You can see there that one's 1.0986. Let's go see what's happening to the right of 0. Same thing, 1.986, well 987, but it's pretty close as far as the estimate, so you wouldn't be counted off if you were slightly off on that last decimal place. So for part B, it's the same process. We just have a different function now, so we're just going to put that function in. You don't even have to erase the second function. The first one, you can just put it into the second spot. And I forgot what it was already. Sine 5x over sine 3x. Sine 5x divided by sine of 3x. Once again, we're trying to see what happens as x approaches 0. So you do have to reset that table. When I scrolled up and down from the last example, it changed the table. So let's just put that back to 0. And this is the same increment. They just changed it to scientific notation, but I'm going to change it back to 0.0001. Then we can go look at our table again. Remember, we put that second function in y2, and we can see that from the left side and from the right side we're getting closer and closer to 1.6667. And I'll leave part C for you to try. Just let me know if you have any more questions.